Hey there, Tony Polecastro here, host of the Acoustic Tuesday show and founder of Tony's Acoustic Challenge. And today, we're gonna look at this custom Bourgeois OMSC for my personal guitarsenal. I have to say, this particular guitar makes me drool every single time I play it. I am just continually amazed at the sound offered by this instrument. And before we dig into the specs, huge thanks to James and Dana at Bourgeois Guitars, and also a huge thanks to Matt Chulka at Eddie's Guitars in St. Louis. They helped me design this guitar, and it's one of those moments where you put on paper what you want your perfect guitar to sound like, or perfect guitar to be, and you hope it sounds good. And when I received this guitar, it exceeded all of my expectations and literally does make me drool every single time I play it. So let's dig into the specs of this guitar. On the top, we've got torrefied Italian Spruce, which is quite responsive. It took the torrefication, the torrefication made it look really vintage, which I totally love. Also on the top, we've got an ebony bridge, bone bridge pins, bone saddle. We've got the DB signature herringbone inlay, which is very organic feeling. It's all kind of different shades of wood. It matches the rosette beautifully. And then on the back, we've got master grade cocobolo, which is very similar to rosewood in its sonic characteristics, but a little bit more heavy on the overtones. This guitar has sustained for days, and I attribute that, of course, to the cocobolo as well. Around the entire body, we have cocobolo binding set off in a white purfling. Actually, it's like a wooden colored purfling. It's probably maple of sorts, and it's beautiful. It reminds me of a violin. The neck is a 12 fret neck, so that means it meets the body at the 12th fret, and we have a cutaway, which is really nice because it allows you to have access to the higher frets, but along with this 12 fret neck, it actually positions the bridge lower on the lower bout, which opens up the entire top for extreme resonance, and that's one of the first things I noticed with this particular guitar. We've got a 25.5-inch scale length, an 1 3/4 bone nut, a solid peg head with Bourgeois inlaid in bone, which I thought was just cool to look at on paper and even cooler to see in person because it has that nice kind of organic cream color. We've got Waverly tuners with ebony buttons that function oh so smoothly, and with this particular guitar, I use a lot of alternate tuning, so it's nice to have tuners that are pretty exact and function so fluidly. The neck is mahogany. I'll call it a low C profile. It's a little bit flatter than what I'm used to, but I found it incredibly comfortable to play. And I'll also add, it's got a volute on the back of the neck, and the fingerboard is also bound, which again is just one of those subtle things that aesthetically makes this guitar really nice to look at. And of course, well, of course it's fun to play. you have all the options on the table, it's sometimes tough to narrow things down, and Matt did a great job of helping me narrow things down, asking me questions about what tone I wanted, how I wanted to use the guitar. So overall, the whole experience was awesome, and I would definitely do it again. But it's gonna take some time. It's gonna take some time for me to do it again. In the meantime, of course, I will relish every single moment I get with this guitar because it is, I think, a perfect guitar for me. So again, huge thanks to Matt and James and Dana. And I also want to mention, before you go today, if you're not subscribed to the Acoustic Life YouTube channel, you absolutely should be. Every single Tuesday at 10 a.m. Mountain Time, I host the Acoustic Tuesday Show, which is your weekly inspiration, your weekly guide to gear, acoustic artists, and overall living your best acoustic life. So if you haven't yet, please subscribe, and I'll see you on the Acoustic Tuesday Show. Cheers.